for Brisbane City inside the 90. Instead, it went all the way to penalties. There is Zoran Markovski, an NSL winner at the Melbourne Knights, but as we heard in pre-game, he now very much calls Avondale home. He's been the coach for 7 seasons, and after a lot of chat about John Anastasiadis being the best coach outside the A-League last night, I'm sure he'd love to raise his hand. Peter Gaffney, he has led Brisbane City on 2 good cup runs, both within Queensland and on the national stage, even though it's been a bit of a goal-shy and frustrating league season. Young Jock Quartermain, the 21-year-old, is the central referee tonight. He regularly referees NPL Victoria, and getting these opportunities on the national stage suggests that he'll be in the A-League, even at his tender age, before too long. There is one wild card on the bench tonight. Marcus Barnes, the English-Jamaican striker, injured a hamstring on the 2nd of August, so it's only 18 days since that injury that he suffered. He did score in the round of 32, but he missed the round of 16 as a result. He waits in the wings. Exactly how many minutes he has in the legs is another matter, but he's shown his goal-scoring pedigree since arriving during the transfer window. 3 goals in the league and 1 in the cup, but Avondale, they have firepower wherever you look. And the man about to take kickoff here, Manny Agwek, is the top scorer of either team. 18 total goals, 13 in the league, 5 in the cup. And he is going to get matters started as Avondale, in the darker of the blues, attack the left of your screens in this first half. And so underway in the Hahn Australia Cup quarter-final, it is the last Queensland team standing, Brisbane City, away at Avondale FC. And Mossy, the time for talking is over. Time to see what Brisbane City can show us out on the grass as a bit of an underdog tonight.
Yeah, that's right, with nothing to lose, and their coach, Peter Gaffney, before the game, speaking to Archie Thompson, said as much. No one's expecting anything from them tonight. So Avondale will have to be on their toes to make sure they don't sneak through under the cloak of darkness and nick a result here tonight.
So we see a long ball from Emlyn Wellsmore down the right flank. And now Yitte Towns wearing the number 13 shirt in central midfield, working here with Wellsmore, but it's come unstuck against the sideline. Wellsmore, who does have New Zealand citizenship, but his performances at Avondale haven't quite tickled the fancy of the New Zealand national team just yet. They do tend to reach pretty deep and look a bit further afield if they can find someone eligible for the New Zealand national team. So we have a throw in here for Corey Brown of Brisbane City. And an exchange of headers back and forth. Aiden Bryce puts himself about, but he's going to get his pocket picked here by Kai Bolton. And he wasn't able to slip the ball onto Malachi Love Samira. That was nearly Brisbane City away. Instead, Luca Tevere here on the ball. He squares it to Christian Trajewski with a shot, and he rattles the post. And you heard the sound of the post as it deflected out for a goal kick.
Well, that's a great early strike from Trajewski. We saw even last week that he packed some punch in that right foot of his. He just found his half a yard on the edge of the box. And didn't he let rip? You can see here, just drives inside. There's the ball. Great first touch. Opens his body out, and that's a really good strike from distance.
Well, he was playing senior NPL as a 17-year-old, Mossy, when he was coming through at Hume City. He tried his luck in the lower divisions in Portugal. It didn't work out. And then when he came back to Australia, he actually suffered a horrible leg break in a red card challenge a couple of years ago. So he's now getting back to showing us his absolute best, but he's always been a prodigious talent, as Christian Trajewski. And a cup run like this is just the stage he might need. Here's Wellsmore hugging the sideline. Trajewski, first touch, just escaped him. And it's cleared for Brisbane City. Now Stefan Valentini. Always the live wire out on the wing. Played so well against Arthur Leichhardt for Avondale in the previous round.
Yeah, both Stefans were lively, weren't they, last week, Teo? Hugging either sideline for Avondale. Valentini and Stefanzini on the other side. You just know that if they can get their ball to feet, they love getting in those one-on-one situations. Real out-and-out wingers who can also drive inside, but they love those one-on-one situations.
Brisbane City's centre backs here just getting a feel for the ball. Ethan Doherty, who's in possession now, and Ollie Plusnen, his fellow centre back partner. As Doherty goes with a long ball. Repelled by the head only as far as Mark Galindo. His back pass potentially dangerous. Langdon was drawn out of his line. Agwek got to the ball. Can he run it down? Yes, he can! Matty Agwek starts the scoring, and his devastating speed was what created the goal. He's netted it on a tight angle, but it was all about the pace to get to the ball first.
Absolutely, and the mental will to make something out of a back pass. It was left a little bit short by Brisbane City, and Manny Egwick, when he's lurking on the Hahn How Good replay, just left a little bit unders there, and he gets the ball first. This is a really tidy finish. He has not got anything to work with there from an angle point of view. But Brisbane City, the masters of their own undoing. Look at that pace and precision from Manny Egwick. Fantastic goal, Avondale.
And you saw what it meant on the sidelines there. That's his 6th in the Cup. It's his 3rd in the national rounds. And it means that he scored in the round of 32, round of 16, and now the quarterfinals. So even though he missed a penalty or had a penalty saved against Apia Leichhardt, you score in every round of the competition, you've got to be in the conversation for the Mike Cockerell medal. And it means he's got 19 in all competitions for the season as well, which is pretty good. He's got a couple more games to, and the rest of this game, to get to 20 goals in all competitions for the season.
Well, you remember he missed from the penalty spot last week, didn't he? And then he grabbed that goal in the 75th, 76th minute to make amends. He was devastated to miss the penalty. He's off the mark nice and early tonight.
And Avondale with a foothold in the game. Brisbane City, given that Galindo's a bit of a pacemaker, a tempo setter for them, it'll be a little bit heartbreaking that it's his back pass that has caused them to come undone.
Yeah, that's right. It was a strange back pass as well because he had no vision of what was around him.
Kai Bolton's trying to make the most of an errant throw in here and has won a free kick in shooting range. And so Brisbane City, they're capitalising on a bit of a brain fade from Avondale, and now they can go the other way.
Well, this would be some retort to conceding so early, because when you're up against it to get the result, the last thing you want to be doing is giving away hand-wrapped gifts in the 4th minute, and that's exactly what they've done. Agwick still had some work to do. He did it well, but Galindo, with no real awareness of what was around him, left the ball short. Josh Langdon did his best, but Agwick was better.
Now, for those of you that didn't watch the Brisbane City Olympic Kingsway Cup tie last week, they had a ton of corners and free kicks, and they just couldn't make them count in front of the home fans up in Brisbane. So maybe a week on the training track to think about making the most of set pieces could come to fruition here. It's Corey Brown shooting direct, and a good save. Batted away by Tom Manos. The ball is cleared out for a corner kick, and that one was on the money straight away.
It was, and that's very promising from Brisbane City to see Corey Brown, because a couple of times last week he had set pieces in the same sort of area and he decided to deliver rather than go for goal. That was a sharp save from Manos onto his post.
So let's see the first corner. Brown in at the near post, and Bolton not able to make the most of it. He appears to have hurt his arm in the process as well. Watch this space. Brisbane City still in possession in the meantime. Brown contesting for the ball. McGrath recycles it out to Mudnich and chipped over the top from Jakub Mudnich, and Manos is going to calm everything down here. But Brisbane City have got an injured player, and the referee is going to whistle play dead so that there can be some potential assessment here.
Well, this was from that corner, and you called it in the moment, Teo, that looked like there was some awkward contact.
So this is the initial challenge that Kai Bolton was floored with. He's run into a 1-on-3. Was it delayed onset from the heavy landing there? Maybe
it was. Yeah, we'll see better from this angle. Does he land on his arm? Oh, yeah, I think he might have hyperextended. Here's the free kick from Corey Brown. That's a really good strike. Manos had to be on his toes. And you'll see he just gets a finger onto the post, which is good goalkeeping. Had the angles covered. but I think he's hyperextended his elbow here, Kai Bolton. And they've got, of course, Marcus Barnes on the bench if Bolton was unable to continue, but that would be an early substitution for a senior player coming back from a hamstring injury.
Almost a sub, knowing you might have to sub him later situation. The other concern for Brisbane City is their cup final against Gold Coast Knights is on Saturday the 30th of August at Perry Park, so 10 days time, and there has to be an element of consideration here. Do they, if Kai Bolton wants to play on injured, do they let him, or do they put him in cotton wool and say, we've got a cup final in 10 days time that we need you to be maybe recovered for? Because what, were we thinking it's a shoulder, Mossy? Or
I think it's more elbow. I think he hyperextended as he landed on it. It was only ever so slightly, but with his weight coming down on top of the arm, doesn't take much of a hyperextension to hurt.
So while we wait for this injury to be assessed, let's throw it down to ground level and check in for the first time in play with Archie Thompson. Archie, what are you seeing, and what a start to the game from Avondale?
Yeah, it's great energy out here. Avondale really settled down, got into their nice patterns of the way that they like to play. A lot of 1-2s, and you could see with Manny Agwak why he's the leading scorer in this Avondale side. He's a real poacher. I mean, I was speaking to Andy Vargas, the assistant coach, and he pointed out that he's just a hard worker. He won't give you a moment's rest, and unfortunately for Brisbane, they just lapsed in concentration. It's good to see Kai Bolton back on the pitch, because he was the one that set up that free kick. I mean, he's got some speed and he likes to go forward. It'd be a shame to lose him so early, but he seems to be okay.
Great stuff. Thank you, Archie. And yep, as you mentioned it, we saw Kai Bolton run back onto the pitch. So 11 versus 11. And hopefully, for his sake, no serious harm done.
He's carrying that left arm. You can see there it's not in a natural position. So he's not comfortable. I'll be very surprised if he lasts much longer. Because it's okay when he's uncontested, but getting into a contest, having to hold a player off, as strikers often do, that could be the real litmus test for him.
Well, the good news for Brisbane City is that the injury delay hasn't stopped their momentum. They win another corner. Jakub Mudnic there is the team's top scorer, 8 in the league, 2 in the cup. He's the only player in double figures this season for Brisbane City. See man marking all around the penalty area as the corner comes in. Goalkeeper went down, Manos, but there was no goal-bound header to challenge him. Play recycled. Oh, late contact there on Malachi Love Samira. Interesting that they'd left him back as, even though he's a striker, they'd left him back as one of the covering players at an attacking corner kick. Unfamiliar territory to see him in the centre circle as the most defensive player. And he's won a free kick.
Yeah, it might have been matching up with Agwek for pace, having someone quick on halfway. That transition to defence if it came out.
So from the restart, Love Samira not showing any issues from the knock. He's taken a moment to go, and he might be into the box here. And the ball is shielded out safely enough by Aidan Bryce. Man from Newcastle who's come down to Victoria with great success. Initially signed by the Melbourne Knights before he moved to Avondale, where, as you see, he now wears the captain's armband. Striking the ball out to left back here as Avondale coughed up possession. Mirko Crociati. Mudnic. Corey Brown is getting forward whenever possible. Brown with a flying cross. He was looking for Yokoyama in the middle, but it's a good defensive header away. Here's McGrath. And around the corner goes Galindo. He finds Crociati. The right back swings in a ball that was teasing, and Kai Bolton couldn't quite shape the header as he got on the end of it.
Well, I think it was Matt Reid with the initial clearing header, which was a fantastic defensive header because Tom Manos wasn't getting there. It was a great delivery from the left-hand side from Corey Brown. Reid dealt with it, and then he dealt with the second one as well. really good passage of play from Brisbane City. And we remember last week, Teo, they came from behind against Olympic Kingsway, so they've got resilience. They don't lose belief, certainly not with a 1-goal disadvantage.
Yeah, Avondale shouldn't get comfortable here because Brisbane City have shown some real bravery now, willingness to commit numbers forward and take the game on looking for an equaliser. And we're only in arrears for 6 minutes against Olympic Kingsway before it was actually Ethan Doherty with a header that got them level, the centre-back who nodded in. Luca Tevere sends the ball out to Stefan Zinni. Underlapping runners on here. Blake Carpenter meets the ball in stride. Carpenter cuts it back. It's intercepted. And Brisbane City will sort things out from their defence. Yokoyama to Love Samira.
I thought Carpenter overplayed his hand there because there were 3 good runs to the back post and central areas by Avondale attacking players. Carpenter tried to thread the eye of the needle back to Stefan Zinni.
Well, he's done well to keep his... It's a tough starting 11 to keep a spot in, and his selection at left back means that it's Jackson Courtney Perkins who's on the bench today. Emlyn Wellsmore's versatility means he can play on the right or the left. So we see Avondale venture forward through the right channel. And good one-on-one defending coming through to save the day. Well, initially at least, has stopped Stefan Zinni in his tracks. Mudnich, long ball to clear. Yokoyama, a lone hand. Marnos has come a long way out of his penalty area, but he does so by finding Towns with that clearance. It's been a lively first 15 minutes. Had a bit of everything.
It certainly has, including quality at both ends.
This is Matthew Reid. Emlyn Wellsmore takes the game on. Veering central and now sending it back out to the right. The cross is whipped into the near post and it's 2. Manny Agwek's on fire and so are Avondale. A really well-worked move in its construction, and the finish, all it needed was a touch to give the home side 1 foot in the quarterfinals, even at this early stage of the night through to the semis.
Well, that's a perfect poacher's finish on the Hahn. How good replay. Ball goes out on the right-hand side. I think it's Wellsmore with the delivery, is it? Agwek just sticks a foot out. He knows the height of the delivery. He knows the trajectory of the ball. And that is a really smart finish with the laces and the outside of the right foot. Really composed, put his body on the line, knew exactly what he was doing. And technically, he got it just right.
And it's 20 in all competitions, Mossy. He's got himself a double in the first half here.
Yeah, 2 very good goals. The first of his own making. The second was brilliant delivery. And a very good technical finish as well.
And it also means it's his 4th goal of the competition. And in a very tight top scorers list, he is now the first player to 4 goals ahead of Stewie Edgar of Nunawading City and Jesse Randall of Auckland FC. So there's a bunch of Newcastle and MacArthur players. Of course, a range of Heidelberg players who have a couple of goals to their name, but Agwek is up to 4. So a bit of a hole for Brisbane City now. They did show some liveliness after conceding the first, but Avondale have now got a safety net to play with here.
I think I gave the credit to Wellsmore for the ball in for that Manny Agwek second goal. In fact, it was Stefan Valentini, of course. Wicked delivery. Got the ball in just the right area, got his head up, and he spotted the space, and that was the key to it. He hit the ball into space, and Agwek took it up and then executed quite brilliantly.
Malachi Love Samira starting deep in midfield, but he's run into a trap, and it was all the darker blue shirts taking the ball away from him. However, Avondale's passing not sharp, and Agwek came to help out Towns to win possession. Trycheski a quick head check, who's ahead of the ball. No one really, because Agwek came back to help out the defence. Now numbers break. Tevere, they're lining up here. Valentini fires, and it's saved away by Langdon out for a corner kick.
Just tightening the screws, aren't they, Avondale? Bit by bit. They're starting to put the foot on the chest. Soon it'll be on the throat if Brisbane City aren't careful.
So all hands on the pump here for Brisbane City. They need to avoid a third. And the volley from Trycheski through traffic. He's had a couple of chances now. One hit the post, another one just wide of it.
Yeah, he just rushed that one, snatched at it a little bit. It's not easy when the ball's coming down from a height, edge of the area. You've got bodies running at you.
Playing out from the back will find its way to Mirko Crociati. Should probably talk about Manny Agwek, Mossy. 25 years old. He's been capped by South Sudan. He made a handful of appearances for Western United in 2021, and then one appearance for the Central Coast Mariners in the 21-22 season before he was loaned to Avondale. And then when his time at the Mariners ended, he tried his luck in Malta for a bit, and now has obviously moved back to Avondale. But he was a good NPL player for Western United. But he's really come of age this season, and I guess he's in the prime years of his career, 25 years old, leading the line, 20-goal striker, and he certainly had the quality that got him on the radar of a number of A-League teams in the past, and it's starting to be realised here in Avondale colours.
Yeah, and look, I've got no doubt, given that he's had a taste of an A-League environment, that he'd be much better for it second go around.
Here's Trycheski on the right, bustling forward here, holding off his marker. Langdon makes the save on a tight angle. That might have been an attempted cross. Agwek in the middle's on a hat-trick here, don't forget. Would love one more chance to make it 3. Here comes the cross from Wellsmore. It's a little shallow. However, the clearance only as far as Stefan Zinni, and now Tevere recycles the ball back to Blake Carpenter.
Yeah, quite often the first attempt by a player like Agwek, and I'm not suggesting it was this, but you can be a little bit of a rabbit in the headlights, and you go back to NPL, get another opportunity in a competition, a fantastic competition like this.
Don't forget it was a COVID hub season at Western United as well.
Very different
not quite the regular A-League conditions. Tevere with a nice little roll. He's at the edge of the box. Can he fire himself? He does, and Langdon sure-handed as he holds on to the save.
Well, he really caught the eye.
Oh, the distribution's a little dodgy, and it's been looped onto the roof of the net. Well, as he tried to roll it out, I think he rolled it into the back of a player, and the ball sat up for a potential lob in, but it's gone out for a goal kick.
Well, he nearly really undid some very good work, Langdon, because he did well to hold that shot. It had some punch behind it, and he gives the ball away. And Tevere, who really caught the eye last week with a tidy performance, almost made them pay. Be interesting, though, to get Archie Thompson's take on Agwek, and particularly that second goal, because Archie, obviously one of our greatest strikers of the A-League era. They're not easy to read those situations, but then when a ball's fired in like that, to have the composure and the technical ability to cushion it, as he did, very impressive.
Well, as the combination of, as we see here, a bending pass from Carpenter, intercepted by the goalkeeper. In order to execute the technique, Mossy, you also need the aerobic capacity to almost leap sideways as he did. Yep. On that occasion, he was horizontal to the ground as he made contact with the ball.
Yeah, great athletic ability. Might get Archie's take on that next time we cross down to him.
So Brisbane City looking for an opening through the Avondale midfield. They're going to bypass all of it and go to the skies. Love Samira. Can he keep the ball in? He does. It's Malachi Love Samira. One-on-one against Blake Carpenter. And there's the ball winds its way out for a goal kick. It does give us a chance to check in with Archie Thompson. Archie, further to Mossy's points about Manny Agwek, what are you seeing in his striker craft out there at ground level?
Well, I was impressed in the round of 32 game. I actually thought that's probably the first time I've seen him play. I like the way that he runs the line, he uses his speed, but also to his link-up play. He comes into that 9 role, and you know, the midfielder Avondale are able to bounce off him, and but then also to the reading of the game. Like Mossy said, he saw that there was an opportunity for the ball to come across. He makes a darting run and uses his speed and his body to get in front. And as a striker, all you need to do is get any kind of connection towards goal, and it's always going to be difficult for any goalkeeper.
Come back to you in a second, Archie, but Brisbane City are on the attack here as cross is just held up at the last, and that allows Bryce to intercept. Brisbane City will reload, though. Doherty, square ball. Corey Brown, does he take the shot? He decides for one more pass, and it was one pass too many. But Archie, just the finish for the second goal from Agwek. I mean, you were the sort of striker who no body position, no jump, no lunge was beyond you. How nice is it to see a fellow striker like that just make sure he got his body position spot on to steer that into the net?
Well, those sort of things are a dying craft. I mean, like, as a striker, as a young guy, this is what you need to be doing. I mean, you need to be reading the game and trying to get rid of your defender, especially in that box, because you get yourself half a yard. I mean, that's such an advantage on your defender. And like you said, if you get in front and you get a good delivery, 9 times out of 10, that's going to be a goal. But, you know, I will say before that goal, I thought that Brisbane City was starting to get into their flow, the way they're passing the ball. Really impressed with a lot of the NPL teams this Australia Cup with the ball movement and the delivery too. Corey Brown with a couple of great deliveries into that box. It looks like the game plan for Brisbane City is that if they do manage to get possession out in these wide areas, it's going to get delivered. They just need to get numbers in that box.
Wow, if there's any young strikers out there listening to that insight from Archie Thompson, hopefully you're recording it and you're going to listen to it over and over, because that technical coaching you don't get very often for the craft of a striker. Nailed it, Arch, as always. And he's right too, Teo. Like, the quality of the NPL football, I think, has been a real standout of this Australia Cup this season. Sometimes on some difficult surfaces, but in the main, the intensity and the ball speed, quality of passing has been really good.
And here with Valentini, trying to swing in another cross. He wins a throw-in. So as we approach half an hour, Avondale with a 2-goal cushion. Brisbane City need to keep it to 2. If they can just halve the deficit at some point, plant a seed of doubt, they will hope that they can maybe use the freshness that they've come in with, having rested everyone for the NPL on Friday, to try and run over the top. But if Avondale build too big a lead, there might be no amount of freshness that can make up the deficit.
Even there's a case in point, the way Brisbane City played out of trouble then. Okay, commentators curse hits, but they played out of a tight area. Instead of just putting their foot through it, they actually linked up with each other.
This giveaway by Galindo could be punished. The entire defence is set behind the ball now, so a let off perhaps for the turnover of the ball, but Avondale still have it under their command. Here's Carpenter. Thought about a shot on the tight angle. You could see it unfolding as he took on the attempt, but he sent it sky high.
Yeah, disappointing, really. You can see what he was trying to do. Blake Carpenter. He just got it horribly wrong. It was always on the rise. It was promising from Avondale. I just feel they let Brisbane off the hook.
Here's Bryce taking the touch from Yokokawa. And now Valentini. It's just wide. Well, they've had some decent chances for the 3rd goal. And a wry smile there from Ethan Doherty, because he knows that they might have got away with one there as the ball just kept bouncing across the face.
Well, they have got away with one, there's no doubt. It's another warning sign fired right across the bow of Brisbane City. Trajkovski just couldn't quite get the direction he was looking for. I think he did everything right. Got his head up, tried to clip it over the advancing Josh Langdon. The root cause was how easily Avondale opened up the Brisbane City defence with one pass.
Of course, if you haven't familiarised yourself with the tree of the knockout draw, the winner of tonight's match will host either the Newcastle Jets or Macarthur, the cup holders. Well, this weekend on Saturday, we will find out which of Sydney FC or Auckland will go through to the other semi-final at Olympic Village against Heidelberg United. And even though the games have come quite rapidly to this point of the tournament, semi-final weekend is not for another month, and then the final date is still TBC. As we see Stefan Zinni venture forward here. Zinni, a bending cross. It's dealt with initially by Plusnen, and Brisbane City will use Crociati here to win a throw-in.
Well, there's a prime example of what Archie was talking about before. On that occasion, Plusnen took the front position, and Agwek couldn't get ball side of him, couldn't get across the face of the defender to maybe get a touch on or hold the ball up and bring a runner into play. It was good defending from Plusnen.
Of course, if we do end up with one of the remaining NPL teams through to the final, Avondale and Heidelberg will have the Australian Championship to keep them match fit. If either of them were to have a final on a date TBC to prepare for, and of course if it's two A-League teams squaring off, I'm sure an appropriate date in the calendar will be found, but the potential for Auckland, the New Zealand team, to make that final is certainly a factor that will have to be considered in, as we see promising build-up here by Brisbane City come unstuck, and now the counter-attack launched by Tevere. Valentini doing what he loves, which is run into space. Valentini, well, he saved his burst of acceleration just as the tackle came through and dispossessed him very cleanly. And Brisbane City have handled that situation quite well.
Yeah, they have. It was a good transition from Avondale. Really threatening until Brisbane City snuffed it out. But how good is it? You just mentioned the Australian Championship, Teo. You're now talking about NPL clubs like Heidelberg and Avondale getting a proper season of games. If you take into account the local cup, the local league, the Australia Cup, the Australian Championship, you now got players getting well in advance of 30 games of football a season, which is exactly what we need to accelerate the development of players.
Of course, the fixture for that round one of the Australian Championship and the subsequent rounds came out because a few more of the state NPL winners have started to punch their tickets to the tournament. As we see Agwek here holding the ball off. Avondale's participation was already guaranteed as one of the founding members, however, even though they are in pole position to win the Premiership in NPL Victoria heading into the weekend. As we see Agwek dispossessed here, and now a sideways pass from Avondale, which is seized upon by Mirko Crociati. Is this the moment for Brisbane City to halve the deficit? The captain venturing further forward, but he can't find a way past his counterpart in Aiden Bryce. Now Yokoyama. It takes a little deflection, and that could have gone anywhere, but Manos saw it into his gloves.
Yeah, that was well played by Mirko Crociati down the right-hand side. It was a driving run. You could see him looking for the support or looking for the killer pass. He tried to make it happen in the end. Avondale just had the numbers. The little ricochet at the end could have gone anywhere. It didn't. But nonetheless, a positive action from Brisbane City.
Trocheski coming into midfield to trying to get through the lines here. He's able to shrug one opponent, but Mudnic wouldn't let it become two. Now Galindo plays it to Jakub Mudnic, and he slides it through for Kai Bolton. Oh, one of the best moves of the game so far for Brisbane City, but it's come to an end due to the offside flag. But again, it's a reminder that if Avondale let this game drift at 2-0, Brisbane City's got the quality to find a way back into the contest.
Gee, I'd like to see that one again too. I don't reckon there was too much in that. I'm not suggesting it was a wrong decision, but a near thing. Bolton continuing to defy the pain that he's obviously in, just carrying that left arm of his. Here it is. Oh, there's probably half a metre in it.
Super tight call. Obviously, the referee's decision is final. No VAR in these rounds of the Australia Cup. Clearance here, and it's going to be seized upon by Malachi Love-Samira, and he tries to return it with interest, and Manos almost with a volleyball dig to send it behind for a corner kick, and he's disappointed with himself after giving the ball away for that chance.
And rightly so. It was sloppy from Manos. We know his quality, but you can't be giving the ball away like that. And Love-Samira, he looks at his options, and he knows that he's got plenty of power behind his right foot strike. Gets some dip and swerve to it, which made it a little bit difficult for Manos, who did the right thing in the end.
Avondale have definitely had their concentration broken. Can Brisbane City make the most of it? There's a pile up at the near post. Manos got a glove on the ball in the meantime, and the referee saw nothing untoward through all the byplay. And Ollie Plusnen gets back to his feet, protesting, but to no avail, and Brisbane City have a throw-in over on the opposite side of the pitch.
Yeah, to my naked eye, he went down quite quickly, Plusnen, maybe looking for something. But again, Manos, the ball was clearly going out on the far post. And he palmed it back into what could be deemed a reasonably risky area. Just got to keep their concentration, Avondale, because all it takes is one goal for Brisbane. They'll get plenty of energy from that.
Carpenter catches a deflection off Love-Samira, and that will be enough to earn Avondale a throw in. But with 10 minutes of regulation plus stoppage until half-time, Brisbane City, not for the first time in this game, are starting to enjoy a phase. All right, Ollie Plusnen, right side of the screen. Mossy,
yeah.
Anything in it?
No, went looking for it. Not enough contact for me to draw the ire of the referee.
Crociati running into a one-on-4. Love-Samira tried to extract the ball out of there, but it's all Avondale. The clearance only as far as McGrath. His square pass, Corey Brown, shut down by Stefan Zinni. And Zinni twisting back into the centre of the pitch, but he couldn't find a teammate in doing so. Galindo just pondered on the ball, but he was able to draw a foul from Zinni, and so Brisbane City can advance into attack once again.
Well, there was a couple of good little battles that Zinni was in then. First against Corey Brown and then against Galindo. Gee, I think he's lucky to get a foul there, Galindo. It was reasonably fair enough from Stefan Zinni. It's been a flowing half though, Teo. 36 minutes gone. Really hasn't had a dead patch to it for either side. Avondale are well worth their lead, of course. Brisbane are still in the contest.
I think what we're seeing, Mossy, is maybe the story of Brisbane City's season, that they just haven't had a prolific marksman to lead the line for them. Avondale going the other direction here, and the ball is cleared away. They're definitely good with the build-up play and chance creation, but having a super reliable striker to lead the line is perhaps the thing they're missing, as the ball is sliced at here by Doherty, so it will be another corner kick. But Marcus Barnes, who arrived in the transfer window, he was going at a goal a game before his injury, and he did score in the round of 32, so maybe he was going to be the answer, but unfortunately that hamstring injury means that he's not been available for their last 3 games.
Yeah, well, goals win games, don't they? That's why strikers the world over are paid so much more than defenders.
Here's Tevere's corner, and it's saved by Langdon, and saved with great technique to flick it out of the penalty area as he scooped the ball away. Avondale tried to reload for a second phase ball, but they won't have that available, as the intercept is made by McGrath, combining with Galindo. And now away come Brisbane City.
Well, it's no surprise, is it, to see a really good save from Josh Langdon. He starred in all of his team's games this Australia Cup campaign. That was a really smart save. Would have been difficult to see. It came in at a nagging length for a goalkeeper, bouncing in front of him. He still was able to get his hand under the ball and push it to safety.
And as has been the case in Australia Cup ties ever since 2014 when this competition started, Mossy, wouldn't shock me if as he leaves the pitch today or leaves the ground, there'll be a few GMs or coaches of clubs around NPL Victoria asking him for his phone number and just asking what his day job is, just in case they need a goalkeeper for 2026, because he's certainly impressed. And as we know, the Queenslanders would call it poaching, Victorians would call it recruiting. The pipeline of talent tends to only flow one way from the Sunshine State down to Melbourne, especially when it comes to players who shine on the Australia Cup stage. And notable cases like Chris Lucas in particular, who appeared in the Australia Cup in Queensland, went to the Bentley Greens and won a heap of trophies, and then back to Gold Coast this season. Here's the header and the save. How good's that from Langdon?
That's a really good save and a really good camera angle too. You could see that he wouldn't have seen it till the very last second. Smart save.
So just over 5 minutes until the break. Brisbane City need to limit the damage, and maybe they can strike and halve the deficit and give them some belief that a comeback is possible. They will have the fresher legs in the second half. It is just a question of if they can keep it to a manageable deficit before they go for broke. Avondale, they can go for the kill right here. Wellsmore. Valentini. Towns. Aiden Bryce. And everything slows down just a little here. Avondale happy to be patient. Aiden Bryce saw a gap. Tevere created that space, and he's dispossessed by Crociati, who's done quite well. Kai Bolton starting very deep in his defensive half, working with Yokoyama.
Well, Aiden Bryce's incisive pass for a central defender deserved better from Tevere. He gave the ball away too easily.
Noah McGrath squares it over to Plusnen, and flat-footed frustratingly for Brisbane City there, because that was a teasing ball, but ultimately Corey Brown decided not to go herring after it, and so a goal kick is the result. Wellsmore, long ball, Agwek, he's on a hat-trick here, Manny Agwek, can he hold off his marker? It doesn't quite sit for him, well defended by Doherty. The attack's still going though, and a good save by Langdon. It was laid back to Luca Tevere, and he shot it straight at the goalkeeper.
Well, it's a great run from Manny Agwek, and he just uses his body brilliantly to get away in the first instance. The weight of the pass was outstanding.
Now Malachi loves Samira. Saved by Manos. A second chance is over. Agony for Brisbane City. Two golden opportunities to halve the deficit.
That's a huge, huge opportunity for Brisbane to get back into the game. I actually think the second attempt was the easier of the two. Malachi loves Samira. He gets in on goal here, does exceptionally well. That's all the hard work. Good strike on target. This one here sits nicely for him. He should get his head over that. That should have been in the back of the Avondale net.
And that would have sent Brisbane City into the rooms with real belief. They've still got a couple of minutes to try and find the net here. Really change the tone of the game on the stroke of half-time.
He did so well to create that double chance for himself. Love Samira. But they're the moments that turn games for and against you.
Well, he's scored 8 this season, only 5 in the league, 3 in the cup. And a couple of those were in fill your boots games in the qualifying rounds, a 6-0 and an 8-0 in the earlier rounds of qualifying. As we see Avondale go forward again, and it will be another corner as it's turned out at the near post by Plusnen. He's been an Australia Cup regular for a number of years now, Malachi Love Samira. It's almost like whichever team he goes to in Queensland tends to make it to the national rounds. Let's watch Valentini whipping in another dangerous ball here.
Yeah, and it was on the end of a really incisive pass from Matt Reid, and we're seeing it from both centre halves for Avondale. Matt Reid on the right, Hayden Bryce on the left.
Driven corner, and Carpenter's header across the face. Bryce dinks it back to the edge of the box, and then Zinni trying to shape a volley, but it always kept rising.
Yeah, when you've got two centre-backs who are confident on the ball, they can break the lines with some real quality passing. Makes a huge difference.
Towns. Tevere. Agwex slipped on the ball. Well, even when it's your night, even when you're the 2-goal star, not everything goes your way, and he punches the ground in disappointment because he was nearly in there again. Bolton has switched wings over to this right-hand side for Brisbane City. As you can see, his left arm still not really in a natural position after he jammed his elbow in a heavy landing earlier in the half. Will he return after the halftime break?
Well, it'll be interesting to get maybe an update from Archie on the sideline, whether it is elbow or did his shoulder maybe pop out.
Well, here he is taking a shot, and it's going to be a corner kick coming up. The follow-up came from Mudnich, and so Brisbane City, as this first half ticks into stoppage time, will feel as though they've done more than enough to score at least one goal in this game, and they would love some reward for it.
Well, the only reason they haven't got on the scoreboard is less about Tom Marnus in goal, more about their wayward finishing. He's pushed one free kick from Corey Brown onto the post. That's all he's really had to do.
It is Corey Brown whipping in the corner. Solid header away by Carpenter, only as far as Love Samira. Mudnich. He can deliver a ball, Jakub Mudnich, but he defers here. A little back heel, crunching challenge at the edge of the box. And the referee does reach for the whistle. It's going to be a free kick in shooting range, as Plusnen was fouled right at the end of the first half.
Oh, he does go in with his stud showing, doesn't he? I'm not suggesting it's anything other than a free kick. Did he get booked for that? I didn't see the yellow card come out.
No, I think Emlyn Wells more similar to your judgment. Mossy, the referee, Jock Quartermain, agrees it is just a free kick.
This is could be a very big moment for Brisbane City. This is a free kick in a really good area. If you can just find the right trajectory inside that back post for the strikers to run at it.
Well, Corey Brown has come over late, but it is Galindo, the right footer, and a double-fisted punch away from Manos. Finds the safety of the touchline.
Well, I just don't know how he gets a free run at it, Manos. And there's no Brisbane City players attacking the ball.
And now a first-time shot. Oh, it was Kai Bolton round the corner. And almost a little laconic in how he tried to just keep it moving, but Manos wasn't to be beaten by the element of surprise.
I'm not sure that was a shot in the first instance from Bolton. It turned into one, but I'm not sure that's what he was planning. I think he was looking to help it on, but it had no real conviction behind it to test Manos. That last free kick, I mean, it wasn't whipped in with any great pace, and I just can't believe that the Brisbane City players weren't attacking it with venom.
Final seconds of the first half, a teasing ball for Love Samira to go and chase, and Manos's judgment is apt as he watches the ball roll out for a goal kick, and if you can milk the clock successfully, that should be 3 additional minutes ticked by, and Avondale into the rooms with a 2-0 lead. That doesn't really begin to tell the story of what has been a compelling quarter-final tie. And indeed, the goal kick is met by the halftime whistle. So Manny Agwek has 4 goals and the outright top scorer's title in the Hahn Australia Cup so far this season. And it's also his 20th in all competitions. That's the difference between the two sides. At halftime, it's Avondale 2, Brisbane City 0.
Halftime here is Avondale 2, Brisbane City. We've got a little bit of entertainment at halftime. Alright, I'll do my best. I have to not move. We're going to announce the winners of the 3-5.
What are you doing?
We're planking.
It's because of our internet providers.
We're stuck in 2011.
Same slow internet speed.
And high prices.
It's like a nightmare.
Enough planking. Superloop is a network purpose-built for the super-fast future of the internet. You are free.
Don't take it lying down, Australia. Refresh your internet.
You are free.
From both teams, Avondale 2-0 start. Sorry. Just trying to think of what to say. Perfect. Yeah. Well, it's 2-0 to Avondale after the first half, but that's not a true reflection of how that first half went. I thought that Brisbane City came into the game. Costly error. It was pounced on by Manny Agwek, who has been outstanding. I mean, he's got his second goal. The way that his body movement in that penalty box, you could see that the wide man, I think it was Stefan Valentini, had an acre of space to just pick out his spot, and he made a beautiful run to the near post. Got his body in the right position and a great finish. But for Brisbane City, I mean, they're well into this match. Their ball movement needs just to be a little bit quicker, especially in the final third. I thought the delivery from set pieces and the wide areas have been fantastic, especially from Corey Brown. But for Avondale, probably would like to see him score one more goal, just to ease, I think, a lot of the pressure that Brisbane City are causing this Avondale side.
Good stuff. That was good.
PTC test. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Well, I have to say that the first half was a compelling one. Some great football from both teams. Avondale 2. I'm just trying to think of what to say. Perfect. Well, it's 2-0 to Avondale after the first half, but that's not a true reflection of how that first half went. I thought that Brisbane City came into the game. Costly error was pounced on by Manny Adjuk, who has been outstanding. I mean, he's got his second goal. The way that his body movement in that penalty box, he could see that the wide man, I think it was Stefan Valentini, had an acre of space to just pick out his spot, and he made a beautiful run to the near post. Got his body in the right position and a great finish. But for Brisbane City, I mean, they're well into this match. Their ball movement needs just to be a little bit quicker, especially in the final third. I thought the delivery from set pieces and the wide areas have been fantastic, especially from Corey Brown. But for Avondale, probably would like to see him score one more goal, just to ease, I think, a lot of the pressure that Brisbane City are causing this Avondale side.
Queensland, and so there he is, the centre forward who's scored 3 in the league and 1 in the Cup since arriving during the July transfer window. Could he be transformative here in the second half as Brisbane City go chasing a comeback from a 2-0 deficit? It's going to be Brisbane City to kick off at Green Gully Reserve, Avondale's home away from home. And we're back underway in the Hahn Australia Cup quarter-final, and it's a sneak attack, a shot from Jakub Budnic right from kick-off. And Mossy, what do you make of the sub of Mark Galindo coming off at half-time and Marcus Barnes coming on?
Yeah, well, we're yet to know whether it's injury-related or tactical. We know Galindo gave the ball away for Avondale's first goal, so it wouldn't have gone down too well on the Brisbane City bench. But they've certainly got to do something just to try and get themselves back in this game. They had a wonderful chance just before half-time to Love Samira.
You can see the teams that are out there on the pitch appearing at the foot of your screen at the moment. No cards in that first half, so no disciplinary issues for any of the players out there. That's Manny Hagwick with the 2 goals that have Avondale in the ascendancy, and here he is chasing possession, but it's cleared away from him by Ollie Plusnin. You can see him marking Hagwick very closely here at the throw-in. Yite Towns. Kai Bolton, you can see him running at the top of the screen, still looking a little bit sore with his left arm, but it didn't stop him from running out the first half, so clearly he's been past fit to continue in the action.
Yeah, well, he's doing very well, Kai Bolton, to play through that injury because it was very early on. He can't be comfortable.
Up and under header, and now Crociati collapses to the ground. No whistle to come to his aid, and it resulted in a shot on target for Hagwick. However, he fired it straight at Josh Langdon, who was able to hold on.
Well, it's normal order resumed, isn't it? Avondale with an early sider on goal. Star of the first half, Manny Hagwick.
Crociati outside of the foot pass. Couldn't quite steer it the way he'd intended towards Love Samira. Instead, it was Wellsmore who intercepted, and now Avondale at the centre of defence. Matthew Reid to Emlyn Wellsmore. Trycheski trying to roll the ball on to Hagwick, but the ball has been nicked off his toes by Noah McGrath. He's playing a forward pass to Mudnich, and now the through ball. Well, it was nearly Kai Bolton away. But again, Brisbane City showing that they can pick a pass. They can find a gap in this Avondale team.
Well, he did well to turn and face forward very quickly there, Kai Bolton. I beg your pardon, it was Mudnich who turned with the ball and tried to pick out Kai Bolton. He just played the ball on the wrong side of Bolton. As you said, they're showing they've got the ability to open up the Avondale defence.
Valentini whips it through the 6-yard box. It was not a bending cross, it was more of a driven cross, and thus not really playable for any of the advancing attackers. So it's an open first 3 minutes of the second half.
It's exactly what we want, isn't it? And as the boys on the couch, Broski and Roy O'Donovan, spoke about at half-time, it would have been a completely different pressure on Avondale had that goal gone in just at the end of the first half from Love Samira. 2 bites at the cherry. It is imperative that Brisbane City, if they are to get something out of this game, score next.
Well, Doherty is down and sore. Advantage has been given to Brisbane City in the meantime. Away he goes, Jakub Budnic. He's going to take on the Avondale defence single-handedly, and the numbers do win out for the home side. And the attempted clearance from left back is blocked out into where the majority of the fans are milling around in front of the Green Gully club rooms. Towns. Trycheski caught in possession by Yokoyama, but a handball has been spotted by the referee. Crunching slide challenge in midfield. That was well played by Yokoyama, but It fell to Yite Towns. Wellsmore. Yokoyama caught in possession by Valentini. Valentini turned on the afterburners, and it looked like Love Samira had eyes only for the man rather than the ball.
That's being very diplomatic. He knew he was done for pace there and momentum. So he thought, well, if I can't get the ball, I'm not going to let you get it either. The risk in that is that they've given away a free kick in a decent area.
Lots of talk and organisation coming from Josh Langdon as Tevere's free kicks an out swinger, and it's set up nearly for Agwek. It's cleared away out of the penalty box in the end for Brisbane City. How much of a reprieve will they get, though? Zoran Markovski, the Avondale coach, quick to return the ball to Wellsmore. Hayden Bryce. Stefan Zinni looks to find a burst of speed, and Mirko Crociati stuck with him, refused to be beaten, but he has had to concede a corner.
Yeah, it's good defending from Crociati. What that's half-time substitution for Brisbane City's also done is allowed Coach Peter Gaffney to get an extra player up front. Marcus Barnes joining Kai Bolton in the front line. Yokoyama one side, Love Samira the other.
Stefan Valentini, never far from a scrap. Corey Brown appears to be his latest target. Brown seeing the funny side of it, so is Valentini. Well, now they can resume their war of words and their physical duel with a smile on their face. Here comes the corner. Tevere swinging it in, and it's just wide perhaps. Should have been 3 for Matthew Reid.
Gee, he rose well, didn't he? Just didn't quite get the power he was looking for. He got up and over the ball. Just couldn't quite steer it in the right direction.
In spite of his size, he hasn't actually scored a goal this season, Matthew Reid. In fact, both he and Aidan Bryce, the two centre-backs for Avondale, neither of them have troubled the scorers this season, which, given their height, is a bit of a surprise, but maybe not given the way Avondale play. Also, they're so proficient in attack from their attackers that they aren't overly dependent on headers at set pieces. Here's Love Samira, looking to make amends from the first half where he had a glorious double chance. Twisted back inside. Budnic, Love Samira is the long shot on. One more pass he goes for, and it's turned behind for a corner. And again, Brisbane City showing what they're capable of in the build-up play.
There was some good combination play there. Love Samira right at the heart of it all. Just for a split second, I thought he was going to unleash from the edge of the box when he had it on his right foot. And then he tried to kill a pass. In the end, probably overplayed that a touch, but they've got a corner nonetheless.
Driven out swinger, and a solid header away. The volley from Mudnic straight back into the pack of players. He's going to try to control the ball. See if there's another phase of attack that can latch off the back of this corner. Yokoyama drifting it to the edge of the area. It's going to set up kindly for an Avondale counter, though. Tevere, oh, he was legged, and we are going to see the first card of the game.
Well, he knew that was coming, Corey Brown, didn't he? The aftermath of a very cynical challenge on halfway. He knew exactly what he was doing, taking a bullet for his team.
So the yellow card is given. I've got to say, I think it's good refereeing there from Jock Quartermain. Rather than worry too much about showing the card, he just wanted to make sure that it didn't turn physical from some of the other players running in.
Yeah, that's right. Here's the foul.
Is he lucky that it's only yellow? It's a pretty deliberate foul.
No, it's only a yellow. It's a professional foul. He didn't have his studs up. You know, I'm comfortable with the decision that it's not red. It's definitely yellow. But it could have escalated had, as you said, referee Jock Quartermain not taking the evasive action with the oncoming players first and foremost, then worried about the yellow card after.
With the ball back at feet, it looks as though it's not going to linger too long in the memories of some of the other players. Tevere trying to let his football do the talking because it's hat-trick time for Manny Agwek. Great assist and great build-up. And the finishing touch for Avondale's star man. He's the top scorer in the Hahn Australia Cup. And Avondale have a 3-0 lead.
Well, Corey Brown on screen might have given that foul away on halfway, thinking he was going to thwart the attack of Avondale and the danger of their momentum. But that man there, Manny Agwek, had other things to say about that. On the Hahn, how good replay. This is straight off the training pitch. A simple ball forward, a layoff on the edge of the box from Luca Tevere into the path of Agwek, and that is a wonderful strike. He just trusted his technique to get his laces on the ball, keep his head over the ball, shoulders over the ball, and that's a wonderful finish from the hat-trick hero.
Not only has he scored in every round in the national stages of the Cup, he has a hat-trick to his name and 5 in total in the tournament. And Avondale strike first in the second half. And that perhaps will snuff out any hopes of a Brisbane City comeback. Great moment for Manny Agwek. He came into tonight with 13 in the league and 5 in the Cup. Well, it's now 21 in all competitions, 8 goals if you include the qualifying rounds of the Australia Cup. And as the ball finds its way out, it gives us a chance just over 10 minutes into the second half to throw it down to Archie Thompson. Archie, we join you after another goal. What had you made of the second half up until that point?
Well, you could see the difference from Avondale finishing that first half to the second half. I mean, Zocchi, the manager, would have had a few words just to say we need to lift the tempo a little bit because Brisbane just were starting to come back into the game. And, you know, 2-0 lead, you get 1 goal back, it's nervy time. And they came out a lot stronger in this second half. Nice goal, beautiful layoff, and even better finish. There's not too much the goalkeeper could do about it. Just head over the ball, nice and hard, hit the target, and a great finish.
Arch, is he good enough for the A-League? Should he be getting a sniff?
Well, on this signs, yes, I think so. I mean, how many times have we seen in the Australia Cup when someone scores goals, how quickly an A-League team snaps them up, especially with a lot of the younger, talented players that have had starring roles last season, have gone overseas. There's obviously opportunities in A-League teams for some of these strikers, for sure.
I think the point Arch made in the first half too, Teo, is that it's his general game as well. We can see that he can score goals, and you know, from outside the box, from inside the box, but it's his general game, it's his build-up. He knows when to drop off the front line, hold the ball up, bring midfielders into the game. He's a hard worker.
There could be another goal on the way here. Zinni, and it's a save, a combination of a save and slight challenge from Mirko Crociati to foil Stefan Zinni and keep the damage to 3.
Well, it almost looked too easy for Stefan Zinni here. Great incisive pass again, really good run. He gets the lucky bounce and then he just doesn't get enough on it, but Crociati doesn't give up the fight, and that's the main thing here from the experienced defender. Look, he just sticks his left foot out and he gets the deflection.
Corner taken short, and Avondale, you might argue there that firing that shot means they took their advantage, but Jock Quartermain says that it's going to come back for a free kick here for the foul on Tevere, who was legged up near the corner of the area. It's probably the point that Corey Brown is arguing here, but well, with the damage at 3-0, Avondale are really starting to turn up the heat. As we approach the hour mark, you'd think that more subs might be on the way. It was Mundic who committed the foul.
Yep. Another opportunity for Avondale from outside the box.
This time a week ago, we saw Tevere score a very nice free kick against RPL Leichhardt, Mossy. So can he produce something similar?
Well, he certainly showed he's capable. It's a good distance and a good angle for a right footer.
It's Luca Tevere, and he puts it over the bar. Saw 4 on the wall. They forced him high, aiming at the top left corner. Wasn't quite able to hit it. Bustling effort from McGrath. The follow-up is going to be taken by Yokoyama. Brisbane City do keep possession. Love Samira. Looks as though Kerr is being ready to come on here for Avondale. He scored against Stirling Macedonia in the round of 32. And he does have 2 goals in the Cup and 5 in the league for 7 total as a backup striker. Scored against South Melbourne at the weekend as well. Here's Trycheski. He's legged. It's a penalty kick. And Avondale will go to the spot to shoot for number 4. And Brisbane City can protest, but the referee saw enough to say Ethan Doherty's challenge was a penalty.
Yeah, and it's the right decision. There's the contact. In the end, he's been done by Trychevsky, Doherty. And he just gets that touch there, and Doherty gets sucked into the contest. The ball's already gone. Trychevsky, some really good one-on-one action there. And we're on the spot with Luca Tevere, a chance to put his side 4 to the good.
Following his goal against Apia Leichhardt, this would be his 2nd in the national rounds if he can score. And he certainly can. Luca Tevere makes it 4-0. It's his 3rd Cup goal and his 8th in all competitions in what's been a great season. He is on the radar of a few A-League teams. 23-year-old finds the back of the net, and Avondale, well, it's how far Avondale at this point of the night.
Yeah, it's an assured finish, isn't it? He knew exactly which way he was going to go. He didn't change his mind. It's enough power behind the strike. May not have struck it as cleanly as he would have liked. In the end, he's done enough to get it past Josh Langdon into the Brisbane City net. And this scoreline is starting to blow out now. It's all about how clinical on the Hahn, how good replay that Avondale FC have been tonight.
Well, it's Grand Central Station down on the bench. Sian Cuba and Scott Halliday among the players that are being subbed on here. Kerr wears the number 11 for Avondale. And George Ott, the number 9, the Kiwi striker, former youth international as well, with a degree of pedigree in his history. He's had his injury problems since landing in Melbourne, but has still managed to find the back of the net 5 times this season. And we will get across all the players that made way there, but it looks like it was a triple change for Avondale. And at the very least, Halliday coming on for Brisbane City. As you can see there, Stefan Zinni, one of the players to have made way. Perhaps feel as though he was a little stiff not to have found the back of the net himself with that one-on-one chance shortly before Avondale's 4th goal. Yite Towns has made way for Sian Cuba. It's Marcus Barnes here trying to get something going for Brisbane City. And here's a first touch off the bench for Kerr. And Luca Tevere, his last act of the game was to score that penalty. And he is off for George Ott. And off the back of the weekend, I mentioned that 5-0 win against South Melbourne in the league that Avondale enjoyed. Ott and Kerr were both goal scorers at Lakeside Stadium in that match. And Brisbane City, they've decided to sub off Noah McGrath and bring on Scott Halliday. Here's Kerr. Hungry subs off the bench. The last thing Brisbane City wanted to see. His cross is cleared. Corey Brown on that yellow card has also made way for Nathan Beagley, the number 4. So Brown picking up a booking, perhaps enough to encourage Peter Gaffney to sub him out of the game. Of course, we did mention in the first half that Brisbane City have the Queensland Cup final to look forward to. Let's go back to the penalty in the goal.
Yeah, it's really well played, isn't it, by Trychevsky. Just gets that extra touch on the ball to suck Doherty in. It was 100% foul and then well finished by Tevere. No real doubt in his mind which way he was going to go.
Here's Sian Cuba, fresh legs off the bench, drifts in across. Requires a defensive header away. Bolton brings it down. Where has he got to go though? Not many options ahead of the ball, so he tucks it back inside. Kai Bolton. Now Jakub Mudnic. This is Nathan Beagley, one of the 2 subs that's just come on For Brisbane City, Yokoyama to Halliday, the other sub. Kerr wins possession. Emlyn Wellsmore here to take the throw. Down the line he goes.
Well, the beauty of the scoreline, Teo, goes without saying, is that Zoki Markovski gets a chance to rest a few players, give a few others some minutes in their legs ahead of what's a big game on the weekend.
Yeah, they're playing Green Gully, funnily enough, just not here at Green Gully Reserve. They're playing over at Avenger Park. And I'm sure that Avondale, assuming they close out, will stay with Mudnich here in possession for Brisbane City. 360 spin on the ball, and that would have been a special goal had he netted it. It requires a good save from Manos to send it behind for a corner.
Well, isn't that wonderful play by Jakub Mudnich on the edge of the box? He just wiggled his way into some space, used his tight ball control and technique, and then unleashed a really dangerous strike. Tom Manos was good for it. It was a decent opportunity.
Bit of confusion with the corner flag being kicked over at the taking of this corner. So the play's going to be held up here for that to be replanted in the ground.
I'm surprised no foul was given. A defenceless corner flag.
Surface is good that it can just be jammed right back in with no dramas, and a corner kick will be taken here for Brisbane City. Can they at least get a goal of their own to show for their night of toil? In at the near post, yes they can. Mirko Crociati flicks it on at the near post, and it's 4-1. And with plenty of time to do something about repairing this scoreline.
Well, they've just blotched their copybook, Avondale, by allowing Brisbane City to get on the score sheet from a very, very simple set piece. The delivery was to the near post. Crociati making a very simple run on the Hahn how good replay, and really it's just too easy, way too easy. You can only put that down to the scoreline, giving Avondale a false sense of security to sort of relax a little bit, but that's too easy from Avondale's point of view. And a very good finish, a very tidy finish from Crociati. But that'll disappoint the Avondale bench no end.
It's his 4th goal of the season, 2 in the league, 2 in the cup. And Avondale's response is to make a couple of defensive changes here. You would have seen the number 68, Kalilu Kamara, running on. He's in possession right here. It appears as though he's come on for Aiden Bryce. Yep, the captain has been taken out of the game. And also Jackson Courtney Perkins has come off the bench as well into the thick of things for Blake Carpenter. Could it be 2 in quick succession here for Brisbane City? They're pressing and they're not able to win the ball. Tell you what, there's so much time left in the game. It would have perhaps planted a seed of doubt. Instead, Avondale want to score at the other end. Kerr. And as he breaks to the byline, he can't lift across into the box. And so it's out for a goal kick. The game might open up a bit here, Mossy. I mean, you make 5 subs in quick succession. It can really disorganise your team. So they just need to get a bit of cohesion together, Avondale, and switch on and make sure that they aren't rushed here by Brisbane City, who perhaps now in the next 5 minutes have a real chance to make a go of this.
Yeah, that's right. All these subs can certainly disrupt any rhythm.
Well, famous last words. Here's Trycheski. He was through on goal. He's been legged right at the top of the box. It is only a yellow card out of the pocket. And it's a free kick. Even though Luca Tevere has been subbed off, still a free kick in dangerous position. And this was, well, like a knife through butter from Trycheski and Ethan Doherty. he went in and fouled him hard.
Yeah, well, he's lucky he didn't get booked for that penalty that he gave away a little bit earlier, Doherty. Otherwise, he'd be in the showers, because that was a 100% yellow card. I'm not suggesting he should have been booked for the penalty, but he's lucky it wasn't the second of the evening. But some really incisive running from Tchaikovsky. Good close ball control. Really good intent. A free kick in a dangerous area.
Now, Hahn Cuba will shoot from anywhere within 50 metres of the net, Mossy. So no surprise that he's taken this free kick. He's the right-footed option. Kerr is the left-footed taker who's there just to keep the wall and the keeper guessing. But Hahn Cuba has dynamite in the boots. Can he unload right here? It is Cuba, and the wall did its job. Kerr with the follow-up. Good block away by the very player who conceded the foul in Doherty. And Brisbane City have a chance to reorganise behind the ball as we tick into the final 20 minutes of regulation time. Here's Courtney Perkins fresh off the bench. Now Kerr tries to keep things moving for Ott, but he's dispossessed. Brisbane City, through their most recent goal scorer in Mirko Crociati, running into a bit of trouble. It's a little bit helter-skelter at present. Beagley is trying to keep his head and has done so in a calm fashion. And Langdon's confidence playing out from the back means that he was happy to run off his line there to provide a bit of support. However, it only got Brisbane City up to halfway. Kerr lost the ball between his feet, goes and refines it again. And it did find its way out. A bit of a stoush here. We've got multi-ball. There was one out on the pitch, another one already in the hands of Nathan Beagley, and you saw the fourth official, Jonathan Barrero, coming in to play peacemaker.
Didn't he move quickly, old Jono Barrero?
Well, a lot of the more experienced A-League referees, we've seen Alex King as the fourth official in quite a few games. They've been appointed as fourthies, and some of the younger, less experienced or less exposed referees have taken the spotlight in the Australia Cup. It's always good to know that there's an experienced head there as the fourth official.
And no doubt keen to get involved, given it'd be probably a little bit chilly down where Jonathan Barrero is sitting.
Here's Jakub Mudnic. Trying for the 1-2 with Yokoyama. Can't quite stick it, though. Shouts for handball are heated in the end, just when Love Samira thought he had possession. Peter Gaffney watches on.
One thing that's caught my eye a little bit is Zoki Markovski resisting the temptation, no doubt, to rest Manny Agwek, his star man. I'll just let you call this sub.
Jack Waldock is coming on for Kai Bolton, who's bravely made it to the 73rd minute with what we can only assume is either a shoulder or an elbow injury, but clearly the medical staff have got a bit of trust that it's not going to affect his campaign to play in the Queensland Cup final in 10 days' time. And he makes his way for Waldock to come on.
Yeah, brave performance from Kai Bolton. He threatened on a couple of occasions. Certainly didn't shirk his physical responsibilities despite holding that left arm.
Yokoyama to Love Samira. Beagley. Mudnic headed away by Reed. Here's Love Samira dancing on the ball. Bursting to the left, and it's just wide. Oh, Barnes, what a chance. That could have been 4-2 with 17-odd minutes to go.
That would have made things very, very interesting. And Barnes can't believe that the ball isn't in the back of the Avondale net. There's wonderful wing play from Malachi Love Samira. Some brilliant work. He got himself one-on-one. He trusted his pace. And then he delivered into a really good area.
Avondale looking a little bit ragged at the moment. They nearly cough up the ball at the edge of the penalty area. Instead, Brisbane City win it in midfield. Crociati. Do they have the quality to capitalise here? Brisbane City. Kamara's header. Crociati with a volley. Manos makes the save.
And he had to get down for that one, Manos, and get everything behind it. It had a little bit of pace on the strike from Crociati.
Sion Cuba from deep in midfield tries for the switch of flanks. It's going to get over the head of Beagley and find its way to Kerr as he veers towards the penalty area. Kerr, the back heel was clever. Valentini! And it's a good save by Langdon. And then the follow-up maybe should have been finished by Manny Agwek. He's run past the ball there at close range. And so Brisbane City, dare I suggest, even at 4-1 down, live to fight another day. Here's Barnes. He's fouled. Free kick.
Well, end-to-end, isn't it?
Emlyn Wellsmore goes in the book.
Nice and open football from both sides. That was a big chance for Avondale just to stamp their, or re-stamp their authority on the game. Look at this wonderful combination play inside the box. It was just out of reach from Agwek for his 4th of the evening. Langdon got just enough on it to push it to safety.
Josh Langdon watching from inside his own penalty area. Here's Jakub Budnic with the free kick. It's headed away off the penalty spot by Reid. And now Avondale looking for a full field counter-attack. Advantage given here. Bustling forward is Cuba. Cuba waiting for support to arrive. And it's Valentini who seals the deal. Stefan Valentini on the end of a full field counter-attack from Avondale. They put their 5th in the net, even though there's drama with an injury in back play.
Well, Stefan Valentini will get the headline for the goal and the finish, but really a lot of credit has to go to Sion Cuba here. He's run with the ball on the Hahn how good replay. Look at this, he picks it up well inside his own half, and he just runs at the defender and commits him, but then shows the patience and the awareness to wait for the overlapping run from Valentini, and then he does the rest. Really smart, intelligent play from Sion Cuba, and a really smart finish from Stefan Valentini. Look at this, he knows exactly what he's doing, almost like he's got eyes in the back of his head. The way to pass is brilliant. Valentini's first touch sets him up, the second touch is deadly.
And I believe it is Christian Trajewski, the player who suffered the hard foul in the build-up, and Jakub Budnic was booked, given a yellow card by the referee in the aftermath here. Now you can see the magic spray is being used, so hopefully that means it's not serious. I did mention that Christian Trajewski had an awful broken leg from a foul in which the player who fouled him received a red card on the day a couple of years ago, and that is the yellow card challenge in the build-up to the goal.
Yeah, nothing more. Yellow card's fine. It's a cup game. There's going to be some contests. There's going to be some fouls, physicality. That's what we love about cup games, but what a fantastic transition to attack by Avondale.
And so with a 4-goal buffer re-established, Mossy, this may pick your scoreline from here, to be honest. I mean, you wouldn't count out Avondale scoring more, but Brisbane City were firmly on the attack and getting closer to making it 4-2 when that counter-attack foiled them. And that was Mudnic's last involvement in the game. He's been subbed off for Zach Rossi. Here's Beagley. It's good defending one-on-one at the edge of the penalty area, though, from Courtney Perkins, and he's going to win a foul for his trouble.
Well, it kind of begs the question again, I alluded to a little bit earlier, around Manny Agwek and the decision to leave him out there with such a massive game on the weekend. I'm not suggesting he'd be wrapped in cotton wool. He's a physical presence and very fit boy, but when you've got that buffer and a massive game coming up, all 5 subs have been used for Avondale.
Here's Halliday for Brisbane City. Space to distribute. He looks to Yokoyama. Yokoyama slips it through the lines. That's a neat pass. The cut across. Oh, it's teasing and put over the bar. He was crying out for a finish. but it's been skied by Nathan Beagley out for a goal kick, and it gives us the chance to go down to ground level. And in among the cut and thrust of it all, Archie Thompson with 10 minutes to go. What are you seeing and hearing?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, I think that goal from Avondale just took the stuffing out of the game a little bit. I thought that if Marcus Barnes had scored that goal, made it 4-2, would have been a lot more interesting, especially when you talked about the amount of substitutes that had Avondale made and then the cohesion, and suddenly you get a goal scored against you and then you get a little bit nervous. But I was really impressed with the way that the referee actually let that advantage play on. And Cuba, I mean, like Mossy said, he had so many options, but he did compose himself and pick the right one, and it was great to see so many forward runners from Avondale still wanting to score goals.
Any chance you're sharing that scarf with Jonathan Barrero, Arch?
Here's a chance for Yokoyama. Brisbane City have got a second with 10 minutes to go. And it could be pick your scoreline from here. The goals just keep coming. We've had 7. Are there more on the way? Masashi Yokoyama makes it 5-2.
And it's a good finish, isn't it? A tidy finish from Yokoyama on the Hahn. How good replay. It's really good build-up and combination play from Brisbane City around the box. Then they get the nod down, and Yokoyama does the rest with a very technically good finish on the outside of his left foot. They just won't go away, Brisbane. I agree with Arch that the stuffing was somewhat knocked out of the game, but Brisbane won't give up.
It is Masashi Yokoyama's first cup goal, either in the national rounds or in qualifying. It's his 6th of the season overall. So Brisbane City have got the deficit back to 3. Kerr, misplaced pass. Halliday. Doherty. Barnes. Able to use his physicality in a productive way. Valentini just boxed him out over the ball there and protected it very ably. However, Avondale's time in possession is short-lived.
Interestingly, too, with the Avondale subs, it's all their left-hand side, really, when you look at Aidan Bryce, left stopper, Blake Carpenter, left back, Tevere, who's...
Here's a chance now, cut inside. Oh, that perhaps should have been 6.
Should have been.
George Ott puts it high and wide of the target.
Yeah, could have been, should have been. Absolutely, he just couldn't quite get his balance, could he? But yeah, you've got Bryce Carpenter, Ite Towns, who was played in a central midfield position. Tevere, who operated on the left of the central midfield area, and Stefan Zini. All gone. The right-hand side remains intact for Avondale FC.
38 total shots, 20 on target in the game. No shortage of attacking. 7 of those 20 shots on target have hit the back of the net. Avondale tying themselves up in knots down in their defensive corner. They've given the ball away right next to the flag for a throw-in. No, for a corner, in fact. So they need to reorganise quickly here. Zach Rossi ready to take. Rossi bending it right into the mixer, and it's turned off the line. Big scramble, Matthew Reid, crucial in stopping it going over. Flicked back to the edge of the area. Looked as though Barnes might have been offside. He didn't get to make a play at the ball. Trycheski, Cuba. Avondale happy to slow things down. Brisbane City, they're the ones chasing. Manos finds a target with his pass. And that was Kerr. However, Crociati wins the ball back for Brisbane City. And now in the pocket. Forward comes Beagley. Valentini wearing him closely, but no foul. Stefan Valentini comes away with the ball. You see Courtney Perkins making ground over on the right. Here goes Jackson Courtney Perkins. Squares it. Agwek. Kerr. A question of the finish. It's blocked away. Well, they had attackers lining up there, Avondale.
Well, you dare say the scoring's not done yet. Tay, you asked me to pick the score about 15 minutes ago. I was no chance then, and I'm still no chance. We've just seen one down the other end for Brisbane City from the corner. I was just waiting for the net to bulge. That somehow stayed out, and then so did that one from Kirkurt.
Kamara. Ott trying to turn out of a midfield trap, but the two Brisbane City players were able to win the ball off him. Doherty, Crociati. Walrock not able to advance any further. That takes us into the final 5 minutes of regulation. Franceschi draws another foul, and this time it comes with an apology from Yokoyama. Courtney Perkins with the long throw.
Jonathan Barbiero looks pretty rugged up there. Nice thick jacket. He hasn't quite got Archer's scarf wrapped around his neck, but
I think the ref's merch is pretty good, Mossy. The puffers, they do keep you warm. As we see Langdon lured out off his line, clearing onto the hill here at Green Gully. And Valentini, well, he never misses an opportunity to wind things up. Langdon pointing out how unnecessary it was, whereas this is just another day at the office for Stefan Valentini.
yeah, we saw it last week as well. He does like to get in the head of his opponents, there's no doubt about that.
Well, referee Jock Quartermain trying to lay down the law in these dying stages. Anything that winds a few seconds off the clock will suit Avondale just fine. Brisbane City still chasing, still running. But the clock is now very much their enemy. Manos waited for the press to advance before playing the pass, and now Avondale will try to exploit some of the gaps left behind, and that's a great touch from Ott. Sian Cuba advancing forward, pops it back out to the right. Ott is able to make ground, but not able to twist the cross back into the path of his teammates.
Well, that was wonderful work from Sian Cuba, because he was involved in that deep in his own half, helped his team get out of trouble, and then he spun and produced a lung buster to get up the other end and support, and then he picked the right pass again. His decision making since he's come off the bench has been first class. That's a snapshot of his work rate as well.
You can see Avondale just daring Brisbane City to commit numbers forward in the press now. They're very happy to knock the ball around and wait for the lighter blue shirts to commit up the pitch.
Manny Agwek actually playing more of a central midfield role at the moment. I think he's got a licence to go where he wants. He's got his hat-trick. A wonderful night for him, and no doubt he's put himself...
Cuba's in, and if the flag stays down, Cuba makes it 6. Tryczewski's ball over the top, perfectly placed, and Sian Cuba timed his run. He nestles the ball in the net. And it's Avondale 6-2 to the good.
Well, how good is that on the Hahn? How good replay. Sian Cuba, I've just been singing his praises for what he's done off the bench so far. He fully deserves that goal. It's a wonderful finish. Great ball over the top from Tryczewski. Really well weighted. Picked out the run perfectly. The run was timed perfectly. The finish was executed brilliantly.
Well, he lifted it like an embargo over the goalkeeper there. Sian Cuba, it is his 5th in all competitions this season, and on limited game time he is making the most of every chance he gets to impress. And that'll take us into stoppage time with a 6-2 scoreline. Mossy, is it a fair reflection of the game? I mean, this could have been any scoreline given the number of chances. We're near on 50 total shots in the game, more than 20 shots on target, and we've had 8 goals to show for it.
You know what? It's a fair reflection of the game on what I'd call an execution clinic, if you like. Avondale have executed in front of goal brilliantly. Brisbane City haven't. But I don't think it's a fair result from the point of view of the way the game has flowed. I don't think Brisbane City have been 4 goals worse than Avondale in general play, but they just haven't taken their chances. Avondale have.
And as we tick into stoppage time, whenever we've done a game together, I've always asked about potential candidates for the Mike Cockerell medal, because we're down to the final 4 after the 2 games at the weekend, but they're all between A-League teams. So we will have seen all the quarterfinal matches involving non-A-League sides and all the players eligible to win the Mike Cockerell medal for this season. Is it as simple as saying that Manny Agwek's put a hat-trick past Josh Langdon and that puts him into favouritism, or have Langdon's good moments, including that miraculous save in the first half, kept him in the conversation to potentially win the Mike Cockerell medal when the voters get together at the end of the Cup campaign?
Well, we've got Roy O'Donovan and Alex Brosk, 2 great A-League strikers, sitting on the couch tonight. We've got Archie Thompson, one of the greatest strikers in the A-League era, sitting on the sideline tonight.
But I'm asking you, Mossy.
But if I went anyone but Manny Agwek, I think they would stop talking to me for life. He scored a hat-trick, so we can't go past him.
Can Brisbane City peg it back to 6-3? Cross in from the right, catches a deflection out for a corner kick. So with half of stoppage time expired, they will still have a corner. And this is not to lose sight of how good Heidelberg have been as well in this Australia Cup. They have any number of players that could also win the Mike Cockerell medal. Of these 2 NPL teams that are heading for the semi-final stage. It's going to be NPL versus A-League in the 2 semis. It's Brisbane City looking for 1 more goal for the road. It's going to sail over the head of Beagley.
This competition, the Australia Cup, the Hahn Australia Cup, just gets better.
Ball stayed in. It's a live ball. It was waiting for the whistle to go. It never did. Rossi, shot blocked away.
Sorry, Tayo. Yeah, it just gets better and better with age. It really does. These NPL clubs are putting up a better and better show every year. A-League clubs really have to sharpen themselves for these cup games, even though it's still reasonably early in the pre-season.
Long driven clearance. We're into the final 30 seconds of stoppage time at the end of the night. As you can see, most of the fans are staying until the end. Grab the shirt, and that's probably going to be a late card. Yep, for Mirko Crociati. Hopefully for his sake, he's not reaching or nearing the threshold for a suspension. It's come as one of the last acts of the night as we go back to the build-up to this foul. And there's not even the chance to take the free kick. The referee's seen enough, and Avondale, for the first time in club history, will go to the semi-finals of the Hahn Australia Cup. It's going to be 2 NPL Victoria teams in the final 4. Avondale punched their ticket with a big win. The final score, Avondale 6, Brisbane City 2.